Spotify. You guessed it. You was right. Elise Cole.
One more time for Ira Ford. Man, if I had known Spotify was going to fuck him up, I would have just gone with 2 streaming services. He may or may not be a little high right now. Definitely. He's definitely high. All right. Parents or people with kids, are you in the house tonight? Did you get out without your children? Yes, right? I'm out without my kids. I have 2 boys. I have a 1-year-old and a 7-year-old boy. I also have a husband and a male dog. So if anybody needs me after the show, I'll just be hanging out in a house full of dick. That's my life right now. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm outnumbered. Now that I've had 7 years of experience parenting, because I started all over. I was like out of the woods, and then I had another one on purpose. And I think the hardest part about parenting, honestly, is just constantly having to feign enthusiasm. Because everything is a big deal to them, right? I taught my son how to use the toaster, and every day it's a fucking miracle. He pushes a button down, and 3 minutes later, hot food comes out, and he's like, oh my God! And I can't match that energy. I'm like, oh, that is amazing, honey. Can't take it. I can't take it sometimes. Here's the other thing with kids that age. If it's been so long that you don't remember or you haven't had children yet, when they turn about 6, 7 years old, they start talking and they never stop. Just from the minute he gets up, he's got shit to say and none of it is important. But you can't tune him out because every once in a while it does matter and then you got to be there for that shit. This is what happened. I taught my son how to use the toaster because I was like, when the baby comes, I need one thing off of my plate in the morning when we're trying to get out the door to school. He has to be able to make his own breakfast. And I didn't think that all the way through. I was like, it's a toaster. How much damage could he do? Turns out a lot. Okay? This one morning, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark out. The dog is barking. I'm out to here. I have to pee. I can't tell if the coffee's been made. And he just is already fucking just going at it. Mom, I'm going to wear my red shirt today because my friend Nick also has a red shirt. And I think we both wear red shirts. People think we're brothers, even though his mom's name is Aaron, your name is Lise. Both of them start with the letter E. We both have curly hair. I'm like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Just give me a minute. And then I hear him just out, out in the ether. He goes, Mom, my toast didn't come up. And I was like, that's okay. You can just push the button again and it's going to be fine. And he goes, no, it toasted. It just didn't come up. So I'm going to stick my fork in there to get it out. And I was so tired that I was like, okay, let me get a plate out of the cupboard. And then it sunk in and I was like, whoa, stop. I go, dude, don't stick a fork in a toaster. And he goes, why? And I could not remember the word for electrocution. And I go, because. Just don't. Okay? Don't break my toaster, man. I'm going to need it later for my bath. Yeah! That is the sound of parents in the house. Some people think that joke is too dark. It's not. The early show was real tight on that one. It's like, do you guys like your kids or something? What's going on? Fuck. I'm just tired, that's all. I'm just tired. We're sleep training right now. Clap if you know what the Ferber method is. Have you heard of the Ferber method? It's where you let them cry it out in graduated intervals, and some people who are very into attachment parenting have opinions and ideas about that method of sleep training. And just saying, if you guys have any thoughts or feelings on the Ferber method that you would like to share after the show, I would invite you to do that with fucking anyone but me. I'm not interested. Too tired. It's been a good year. Like Ira mentioned, my first full-length comedy album came out this year. Yeah, thank you. It's very exciting. This is like my full-time job now. And I recorded the album in last April, and then I had the baby last June, and then I turned 40 last November. And so I've had just a year of like celebrating all kinds of things. And I got 2 really great gifts. So I had the baby in June, and then in July, my husband got me a minivan and a vasectomy. Yeah, that's the gift that doesn't keep on giving. Right? It's so great. And his buddies were giving him shit about it. Like, guys, I don't know why you think your vehicle has anything to do with your virility. We're not confused about that. But his buddy Chad was like, was that some kind of twofer, man? You bought a minivan and they just took your balls? I was like, you could tell that idiot the first thing I'm going to do is throw down that third row and fuck you in the back. No more babies, all right? And my mom, being an old hippie, has been very concerned about my reproductive rights with everything that's going on in the news. And so she said, you know, since you're having a scheduled C-section this time, are you going to have them tie your tubes while they're in there? And I said, well, no, because my husband's getting a vasectomy, so I'm definitely not having any more kids with him. I got a couple good years left. I don't know. Maybe Dave wants to have 14. I don't know. 12, 13, and 14. Get it? No, I'm done. I'm done having babies. It's because I'm not sure. I'm never sure if I'm doing it right. To be completely honest, I don't fucking know, man. I thought I was doing okay, and then the last week of preschool, my son got written up. This is how I knew we were going to be in trouble. I was like, oh, I 100% got the kid that I deserved. Last week of preschool, this is in the spring of 21, they were doing hybrid distance learning and in-person, and he got written up. I was like, really, man, you couldn't make it 5 more days? He got a little note sent home that said, Josh is being disruptive during Zoom music class. Duh. Right? I saw his teacher at drop-off, and I said, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on? And she goes, well, he is trying to get the attention of his peers and make them laugh. I was like, I know I'm supposed to punish him, but is he any good? We're going to be in trouble, man. And then we got him enrolled in kindergarten, and I'm from here. I live in the Twin Cities, and if you'll remember, people with littles, like in the spring of 21, we didn't know if public schools were going to be in person or if they were going to do distance learning that fall, but private schools had gone back to in-person learning. So my husband and I panicked, and we enrolled him in Catholic school, which might have been a mistake because we are Jewish. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal because my family is mixed ethnically and religiously. My mom converted to Judaism when she married my dad, but she was raised Catholic. And sometimes when I had sleepovers with my cousins, I had to go to mass with them in the mornings. I wasn't confused about who I was. I was like, this will be fine. And then it was not fine. Like a week into the school year, my son comes home and he's like, did you guys know that there was a man named Jesus? And he had nail holes in his hands and his feet that bleeded because the people put nails in his hands and feet and a crown of thorns in his head, and the people did terrible things to Jesus, Mom. They were so mean to him. And he just kept saying the people. I was like, you mean the Jews? We gotta go. And I yanked his ass out and put him in public school. Because I was like, I don't know how to deal with this, right? Like, we're not super religious, but you gotta draw the line somewhere. We're having Shabbat dinner and he can't shut the fuck up about the crucifixion. I was like, this is time to go. It's time to go. And I've been around Catholics long enough to know the next thing they're going to tell them is the Jews killed Jesus. That's how they say it, and it's bothered me for my entire life. The Jews killed, like all of us were in on it. Okay? Just logistically, that makes no sense, okay? Judaism is like 5,000 years old. By the time that Jesus got here, the diaspora was all over the world. They were in Egypt and other parts of Africa and Mesopotamia and the Roman Empire. Like most of the Jews who existed in the world at that time, fucking nowhere near Jerusalem when that shit went down. So I've been trying to come up with an analogy to like illustrate that point. Here's what I've got. Let's just say for a second, OJ did it. No one on the LAPD looked at that crime scene and went, well, clearly, this was the Buffalo Bills. Okay, not where some of you thought I was going with that. Few of you didn't laugh at all, and that's okay. People get uncomfortable when you compare Jesus Christ to Nicole Brown Simpson. Okay, 50% of you are with me. The other half is still trying to figure out if that was racist. It's not. It's not. And I know we gotta be careful about that. Everything is touchy right now, and I hate censorship. I hate it so much. I think stand-up comedy is the last bastion of free speech, and it's a scary time to be a comic. Because it wasn't that long ago when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, right? At the fucking Oscars for making a joke. And then people were coming down on one side or the other. Well, should Will have slapped him? Well, should Chris have made the joke? And I was like, you're all asking the wrong questions. What I need to know is what the fuck Jada's secret is, because I can't even get my husband to hit our kids. All right. And we're back on track. Okay. Everybody has their own definition of offensive language, and I think maybe mine is just a little bit more traditional, because my friends who had kids before me, the only thing that they warned me about was they're like, well, when they start talking, you have to watch your mouth because they will repeat the swear words. And I was like, first of all, I don't know why anybody has a problem with that. It's adorable. Secondly, I think there are other things that are way worse, right? The first time my son cussed, it was the cutest thing I've ever heard. We were downstairs in the family room. I'm doing housework. He's playing with his cars. He's driving along the back of the couch. He's going, vroom, beep, beep, vroom, beep, beep, are you fucking for real? And in unison, my husband and I were like, that was me. That was you. And my husband goes, what do we do? Do we have to punish him? I go, that's not fair. Because he doesn't know that he swore. He just thinks that's a car noise. That's on us. And I have a different definition of offensive language. It's the same scenario. This is all true. We're downstairs in the family room. I'm doing housework. He's playing with the cars. He's driving along the back of the couch. He's going, vroom, beep, beep. And then he realizes that he's missing one. And he goes, Mama, I'm going to go upstairs and get my big truck. You stay in the basement and fold laundry. And I said, you watch your fucking mouth. What do I have to do to get a little slap, huh? This is the one that really kills me, though. I hate it because there's no equivalent. I think just as a society, we comment on women's bodies in a way that we don't do with men. And the worst one is asking or congratulating a woman on her pregnancy, right? Don't do it. Don't do that shit. Because any woman at any point in her life can only be two things, pregnant or not fucking pregnant. I just think if there's at least a 50% chance that you're wrong, maybe keep that shit to yourself. Because if she isn't pregnant, then you basically just walked up to somebody and said, I think you're fat enough to be two people. That's all that. And we don't do that to men. Nobody ever walks up to a guy and goes, just kind of gave up, huh? Not you. You look like you're in good shape. I'm just saying. That's way worse. It's way worse. And you can't tell anymore where the line is. I don't fucking know. I want to be on the right side of history, but you keep moving the goddamn goalposts. This is what I mean. I got censored at an open mic one time because I said boys and girls are different. Fucking edgy, right? I said boys and girls are different. This is what happened. I was talking about my nieces who are all sisters and my nephews who are brothers and the differences that I had observed in the ways that they were interacting with each other and the world around them. And the next time I went back to that open mic, the host goes, hey, listen, you can go on tonight, but I am going to have to ask you not to do any of that material that you did last week. And I said, why? And he goes, well, the last time you were here, someone got offended that you said there are only two genders. I go, no, I didn't. I said at my family picnic, I noticed the difference between the peaches and the bananas. I did not say there are no other kinds of fruit. I said when two things are not the same thing, they are different things. Like the sun and the moon, cats and dogs, Apples and idiots. And I know what you're thinking. Elise, apples and idiots are both things that can't think. But they're different, see? Because apples are delicious in pie, and idiots can't tell an insult from a fact. Okay, I've lost some of you again. You know what? Maybe I should have told you who it was. The kid who censored me was a 20-year-old U of M student. I can't tell if you're making that sound because you're on my side or you're not on my side. I have a hard time taking anybody that age seriously because they're the people who ate Tide Pods. Right? You fucking ate soap on purpose. I'm going to be 41 in a couple months. That puts me right on the cusp of Gen X and millennials. I'm pretty sure the dumbest shit we ever did to get high were whippets, but at least there are drugs in those. Right? And they are different. Boys and girls are different. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm not even saying that the patriarchy isn't responsible for establishing and reinforcing heteronormative gender roles. I'm just saying they're not the same. My oldest son and my youngest niece are the same age, and they used to fight over toys. And so one year for their birthdays, we got them an identical gift. We got them each the exact same baby doll. And my niece named her baby Rosie. She feeds it and changes its diaper and pushes it around in a stroller. And my son used his baby as a ramp to drive his trucks over. Okay? I didn't do that to him. That's just what's in his heart. And nobody was more surprised than me because I am what 20 years ago would have been considered about as far left as you could be. I go, listen, man, I'm a fucking diehard OG blue state liberal ass rainbow flag flying fucking ally. I don't care what my son plays with or how he dresses as long as he leaves me alone. Right? You want to throw on a little makeup and watch an episode of Gabby's Dollhouse? Go ahead, knock yourself out. Pick a short one. It's a Benadryl night. Yeah, you know what that means. For anyone in the room who didn't pick up on it, we're laughing because Benadryl is code for sex in our house. Right? I know exactly what my husband means when he's like, hey, I think the baby sounds a little stuffed up. And I'm into it because I know exactly what the expectations are. I'm like, cool, I will meet you in the minivan in 10. Why do you think that third row folds down? It's not a joke. It's touchy, man. It's touchy because you don't know what you can say anymore. I'm saying all of it. Should I do this one? Yeah, I'll do this one. All right. This is, okay, so like I mentioned, I'm from here, and I was around for the riots after the death of George Floyd and the shutdown and all this stuff, and like my car had been stolen, and like 2020 was a rough year, 21 was a rough year, and then I thought we were like through the worst of everything and kind of over the hump, and then at the end of 2021, my 70-year-old mom had a mini stroke. And she is totally okay, which is amazing, and I'm super grateful for that, but it scared the shit out of me, and getting scared like that really made me think about all the other people in my life that I would rather have died than my mom. Top of the list is my grandma. And it's not for reasons you might think, like she's 84 and she's had a long, full life, or because she's sick and I don't want her to suffer. It's because she's a terrible person. Like, she lives alone in a shitty nursing home with no visitors, because that is exactly what she deserves. Okay, look. I feel like this is the difference between Jews and everybody else. Okay? Especially the Catholics, right? 'Cause they're the martyrs. Oh, take me instead. Not my mom. I'll die for her sins. I'll be just like Jesus, who for sure was the only Jew to ever do that. Pretty sure the rest of us are basically just Larry David. And I'm not being unreasonable, okay? She was number 3 on the list, but the 2 people ahead of her died. The first one was my grandpa, who was a child molester, that when confronted said in his own defense, at least I kept it in the family, which everyone thought was a little weird until we found out about his brother, my great uncle Jack, who it turns out was one of the Catholic priests named in a lawsuit in 2012. Yeah, I didn't like hearing about it either, but you guys tightened up when I said my grandma was a dick, so here we are. Okay? And I get it. Okay? I get why people tighten up about that, because it sounds like it's anti-woman or anti-feminist, and everybody's getting woke about gender inequality and the Me Too movement and women's rights, and I think that that's important. But I also think that any feminist platform which like unilaterally absolves women who've done shitty things just because they're women might have a faulty premise. Okay? I heard 2 feminist narratives in the past couple of years that blew my mind, and I don't know who came up with them, but they are definitely wrong. The first one is, this is like a neo-feminist idea that a woman will only ever act like an asshole because of conditions that have been imposed on her by the patriarchy. Or, if she doesn't, agree with that, then we have to feel sorry for her because she's suffering from a case of internalized misogyny. Some of you are still not on board. Okay. Look, I have a problem with both of those narratives because both of those propositions still define women as somehow being in a one-down position in relationship to men, like we couldn't possibly be acting independently of some kind of male influence, which sounds a little bit to me like the fucking patriarchy. Right? Okay, how's this for like a radical contemporary feminist narrative? I think I've got it. Ready? It's women are people too, and some of them fucking suck. It's always women who clap for that. One brave man in the front row. And the guys are like, I just want to be supportive. Most of them are too scared to put their hands together because you don't want her to be like, I don't know why you're clapping. It's true, man. We're just people. We're just people. That's all I'm saying. I think we need feminism. I do. I think we need to treat everyone fairly, and I want to impart that to my children. What matters is that you are a good person, and anything beyond that, I think, is kind of irrelevant. Thank you. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know if that's. I'm not going to have time to do all of my new shit. I'm going to have to figure out how to wrap this up. Okay. This is the 2 that I really struggle with especially because everything's like on a spectrum now and it's all very fluid. Like I want to be on the right side of history, but I feel like the goalpost keeps moving, okay? And the sexuality spectrum is the one that I struggle with because I feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage because I'm straight. I can't help it. That's just the way that God made me. But if I come back in the next life, make me a pansexual. Do we know what pansexuals are? Twice already this week, somebody was like, they like pans. No, it happened once with an accent, once not. But yeah, no, it's not people who like pans. As far as I can tell, the only criteria for a pansexual are alive, consenting, and human. That's it. If you're pansexual, you are so lucky because the world is your oyster. Or clam, or eggplant, or whatever, right? This is the one I don't get. Sapiosexuals. Have you heard of sapiosexuals? Idiots. Yeah, because these motherfuckers are out here openly declaring that they are only attracted to people they find intellectually stimulating. Which is the most arrogant thing anybody's ever said. Right? And they have their own dating app. It's called Sapio. What the fuck do they think is happening on Tinder? All right. Hi, Tanner, 21, Minneapolis, just looking for a hookup that's borderline retarded. Show me that profile. And the alternate definition, because I Googled it. I'm 40. I don't fucking know. The alternate definition is only attracted to people who are highly intelligent, which, what a bummer. Right? There are some real hot dum-dums out there. You ever been fucked by a flat earther? They will turn your world upside down. You know who doesn't have a Nobel Prize? Channing Tatum. I gotta take a pass on Magic Mike because he didn't cure kids' leukemia? No fucking way. Anything ever happens to my husband, I am headed straight to Dum Dum Dick Town. I told that joke in North Dakota last year. And when I asked if anybody knew what a sapiosexual was, this woman in the front row leaned over to her date, grabs his arm, and goes, "We met at a smart people convention." Swear to God. I go, "Is that what they called it? Or did you just dumb it down for me? Because I'm one of those idiots who gets the tingle between my legs and not between my ears." Also, what the fuck is a smart people convention in North Dakota? Is it just all the meth cooks who didn't blow up their trailers, or? All right, I got time for one more joke, and then I gotta get out of here. I was very excited for my son to start school, and now this is a weird transition, I know, but we're starting school again in about a month, and he's going to be in second grade. And I've just enjoyed watching this journey, watching everything unfold for him, because as he's learning, I'm learning too. And I didn't know that was going to be the case. When he went off to kindergarten, I thought this is when he's going to go to school to learn. The truth is, I have learned a lot since he started school, right? Like, I now know why pornography is like the largest multi-billion-dollar industry in the world. Here's what that has to do with kindergartners. Just hang on. Right around the time that he started kindergarten was when I found out I was pregnant with the second one. And naturally, he was very curious about the whole thing. And one day he asked me, "How do the babies get out of the mama's bellies?" And I said, "Well, some babies like you come straight out of the belly. They just cut me open, and they took you out, and then they sewed me back together. I can't look at you or I'm going to crack up." And he goes, "Well, how do other babies get out?" I said, "Well, other babies go through the vagina." And he goes, "What is a vagina?" And I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to fuck this up, right?" I go, "Well, like, you know how you have a weenus?" And I don't have one of those. And it's like in that general area. We were in the car on the way to Target. He caught me off guard. Right? So I'm in the front. I look at my rearview mirror, and he goes, Is it in your fur patch?" And I said, "Yes." "Oh, yeah, it is." And he goes, "Can I see it?" I said, "No, you cannot." And he goes, "Well, then, could you show me a picture of one? Because I don't have a vagina. And I would really like to see one." Which is when I learned that just never goes away. And inside every grown-ass man is just a 6-year-old boy going, "Excuse me. Couldn't help but notice your fur patch. I was just wondering, you got a vagina in there I could explore? And if not, I'd like to look at some pictures. Because I don't have a vagina, and I'd really like to see one." And as long as he's that polite, I honestly don't care if this is how he goes about it for the rest of his life. That's consent. That's what that is. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. I have 2 seconds, then I have to get out of here. One of the things I do now that I'm doing comedy full time is I sell merch to help me cover the cost of going on the road, and you can support me doing that by buying these things. It's a package deal. It's a koozie with my album title, Real Hot Dum Dum, on it, and it comes with a bath bomb in the shape of a toaster. It's called The Last Bath Bomb. So you get a koozie and a bath bomb together for $20. Or you just come out, say hi, take a picture, post it on Instagram, something like that. And you guys were amazing. You're the best show we've had all week. Enjoy your headliner. Good night.